Hey everybody, Jacob with Scooters Lawn Care. Today we are talking about why landscaping can be so overwhelming getting those projects done. This is something that everybody that has projects at their home, especially if they are sizable, goes through. So first off, pricing. What's it going to be? How much is it going to cost? Is this going to be a fair price and a reasonable price? And that's a hard one because those questions a lot of time are up to the homeowner. Is this reasonable? Is this what I want to pay? Is this what I can afford to pay? And two, is this actually going to get done? I've heard so many horror stories of someone taking a deposit, someone starting a project, somebody ripping out everything and it doesn't get done or doesn't get finished or only gets started. And that just becomes more and more overwhelming thinking about all the problems that might come up when we're getting this project done, because there's nothing worse than thinking about, oh, I want this awesome landscape. I want this awesome yard. I want this awesome outside area. All we get is the start, and the start of a project is just the destruction. It's ripping stuff out. It's demoing stuff. It's dirt everywhere. It's rock everywhere, plants everywhere. And if it gets left in that state, it's very overwhelming to think about the possibility of that happening or having to deal with that, or how do you navigate through that? And three, what's the quality of the work? What's it going to end up looking like? Am I going to get a quality job? Am I going to get a rush job? Is this going to be what I anticipated having in general? Those are a lot of the reasons it can be so overwhelming to have a landscape project happen on your property. Try to find the right company to do that project for you. And we're going to go over some of the things that you should look for a landscaping company if you are hiring someone, to ensure you don't have these problems, that you don't have these stresses, that you can have a smooth transaction, that everything can go on pace, communication happens, and things are clear. So the things you're going to want to look for, you're going to want to look for clear pricing. I'm going to use clear a lot in this. Clear is a word that removes a lot of this overwhelm. Clear pricing. What does it cost? You don't want vague. I get some things can be time and material, but a lot of projects, and when we quote stuff, everything on our projects is a set price. We know what it's going to cost. We know how long it's going to take, unless we get into a service with a ton of variables. And that's far and few between. It's maybe one little thing out of a lot of different things we do. It's typically related to weird cleanup stuff, not landscaping. You're going to want to look for clear communication. You're going to want to look for a company that's reaching out to you, that is following up with you, that is easy to contact, that has an office, that has people answering phones. Or it doesn't necessarily need to have just this physical office, but there needs to be people available to answer the phones. And it's not just getting return calls at the end of the day or at random times. You're able to connect with someone soon, because when the problem does arise, and in large projects there will be problems, you want to be able to get a hold of someone to figure out what's the means to an end of this issue. What's the next step? Another thing that you want to look for is you want to look for good Google reviews. You're going to want to look at the company that you're thinking about using, or if you're trying to find a company to call, you're going to want to look for good Google reviews, and you're going to want to look for a company that has a fair amount of Google reviews. If a company's been in business for 6 years and it's got 3 reviews, that can be kind of concerning. But it's the social proof of what a company is doing, and it can give you a good level of assurance of what this experience is going to be like. And I always tell this to my dad. My dad's like, well, how are we going to know what restaurant to go to? I'm like, well, look at the reviews. They're going to tell us what to expect before we even just start going and guessing and looking around for stuff. And this just happened on a trip recently. That's why I kind of brought that up. So reviews, huge. And right after the reviews, you're going to want to look for a clear scope of work when you're working with these people. And I guess, honestly, reviews should have been first. That's how I'd pick somebody. And then all these other things kind of come in the process. So once we're getting an estimate, we want a clear scope of work, meaning what all is supposed to get done. We don't want to just, hey, we talked to someone and they're going to do what we said, because that leads to any misinterpretation of that communication now becomes a frustration for all parties. And so we want a clear scope of work so I can say, okay, cool, this is getting done, this is getting done, this is getting done, this is getting done, and anything not, and that is not getting done. So everybody is on the same page. To have a great project, to have a great landscape installation, you want to make sure we're on the same page. That comes with a clear scope of work. Now, finally, I think a thing that's very important to see that a company has that you're working with is some kind of terms of service. It's not necessarily an agreement. It's not necessarily a contract. And probably a lot of things you're going to have to sign contracts if they're really, really big. But Clear terms of service meaning this is how we operate. These are the expectations. This is the structure of the company. This is how we handle this situation. This is how we handle that situation. Because here again, overwhelm comes from no certainty of what is going to go on. I don't know what to expect in price. I don't know expect how long it's going to take. I don't know if the company is going to do quality work, all these things. And so all these different layers of clearness and communication and all these other pieces throughout leading to this terms of service show you how the company operates, and it dictates that clear line between what we're going to do, how we're going to handle it. When this comes up, this is what's going to happen. This is the billing structure. That's one thing. Billing structure alone, draw schedules and different things. That needs to be laid out so people can understand, so everyone is on the same page. So these are just some of the things that you should look for to remove that overwhelm in the landscaping process. This is stuff that we do as a company to protect our homeowners, to protect our clients, to protect everyone we work with, and to make sure we're doing the right thing. Without the clear scope of work, it's just as easy for us to drop the ball on something because we didn't have the clear scope of work for our team. And these pieces are something we care about extremely heavily. Like, this is something we invest so much time into. Just Google reviews alone, wanting to make sure that we're putting our best foot forward at all times so people know about our company and they know that we're giving our all to make sure people are satisfied. So those are some of the things you're going to want to look for. You're going to want to finalize that with a satisfaction guarantee of making sure that, this company stands on its satisfaction guarantee, that we're going to be happy, and it's all about protecting you.